Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 7 here on Bloomfield with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, I have jumped ahead to the first day of June. Um, our grass is now ready, and there wasn't a whole lot new going on the farm, so I thought I'd just push on through that. But we're here looking at our potato field, which I think looks pretty darn good. Looks like we've got a nice healthy crop of organic potatoes, so that's cool. Our money has gone up since I left you. We were at, I believe, about 21.7 and change, something like that. And we went in advance about a month and a half, pretty close, I believe it was. And so we're at 22.9 now and change. And that's strictly from my wife's income adding back into the pot. And we're going to take and we're going to add a bit more of that because what I did is I saved up all our productions. That's basically all the wife and I have been working on in our spare time. So we now have 2 more pallets of sugar, 2 pallets of her premium potatoes, and then 2 pallets here of frozen French fries. So that's the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take and sell those off. Now, as it turns out, talking to Ben, and he's got our buyer lined up for the potato products, a really good price for us. He can also dispose of the sugar for us, not as good a price as we get some other places, but as an overall package deal, I think we're going to do all right. So that's the first thing we're going to do here this morning because our french fries are frozen. We don't want them to thaw out and it's going to get warm. So we're going to head off and drop these off down at Ben's. So I will catch up with you down there. Well, Ben asked us to unload these and just set them in front of the doors to their storage building here. So let's see if I can get fancy here and get both these. Oh, nice. Both these sugar pallets without damaging my truck. For once, that worked out all right. So we'll get these unloaded. Now, if I do this just right, I should be able to get both those pallets as well, I think. Oh, love it when a plan comes together. Very un-Farmer Murphy-like. Didn't even damage the truck. Well, there we go. That went very well for a change. All right, I'll get this parked up and we'll meet around front and we'll get our money. See you in just a minute. Well, there we go. We just got $14 shy of 4,000 for that, so that's a pretty good deal. And I did take the opportunity. I bought another 200 liters of lime and seed just while we were down here. I've got that loaded up. So that takes us to 26,700. So money's going in the right direction. Don't get too used to it though. It's not going to stay that way. Uh, so I'm going to head back to the farm. I'll get this unloaded into the greenhouse and then I'll show you what has arrived at the farm in the past month. And we'll catch up with you there. See you in a bit. Well, we're back here at the farm. I got the lime and the seeds unloaded, and I noticed there was a little farming going on here in our backyard, so I thought we'd take a quick look at that. Man, he is chewing up that field in a hurry with that thing. Taking out the weeds, obviously. Neighbor has some nice gear. Yeah, he moves right along with that thing. It's not going to take him long to finish that field, that's for sure. Always nice to see the farm equipment in the field. Anyways, we've got our own work to do, so we better get back to it. Well, you can see our grass is ready, but what I wanted to do is show you what's arrived here on the farm in the last few weeks. Now, TFS picked these up for me, and he didn't even charge me because he's got some harvest work coming up that he would like a hand with, so we decided to do each other a favor, I guess. And so that works out just fine for me. Anyways, these two items here, this old sickle mower and rake, I picked up from a rancher just between Edson and Hinton. Edson's about 2 hours almost straight west of us. And that's kind of the start of the foothills, and Hinton is right on the edge of the Rockies itself. So he upgraded, and he had these. He was able to demonstrate they worked to TFS when he was there, so he picked these up for me. I only had to pay $750 each, or $15 for the pair, so that was a heck of a good deal, I thought. But not as good a deal as this. Now, all my farming equipment, as of late, as you know, I've found on Kijiji. No difference there. My favorite farm implement dealer these days. But I found this actually at a scrapyard in Edmonton. He had bought a bunch of scrap off a farmer, and when it got delivered, this was in the pile, and he recognized that he could probably sell this as is, because it looked like it was a working order for more than it was worth for scrap. But I don't really think he realized what he had, because he sold this to us for $2,500, and I looked online and knew these things are worth about $6,000, and this is a pretty new implement. I mean, it looks a little rough, but haven't actually tested it out to see if it works, but it's pretty simple and pretty new, so I'm assuming that it does. So Sims had actually paid for these when he picked them up, so I owe him $4,000 for these. And once I transfer that to him, which I will do here off camera, that'll take us down to 22.7, pretty much where we started the day. So as it turns out, we ended up trading our products for farm equipment, but hey, you know what? I'll take that. At least the account isn't going down and we're gaining. Oh, and they never did come get that baler and stacker, so those are ours, and the paperwork did come in the mail to confirm our ownership, so we'll be putting those to work as well. So I guess that's enough yakking. I better get to it. What I think I'll do is I'll record the entire process of the hay work on this field, and then I'll make a time-lapsed montage. Whatever I can fit in. I know we don't want a whole episode of it, but I'll show a little bit of time-lapse of all of it. So sit back, enjoy the tune, and some haying. We'll talk to you when it's done. There we go. Our hay is all up. You may have noticed we had to go into the second day here to get it done. Um, and when I did my research on that piece of equipment we inherited along with the baler, I just read as far as it was a stacker. I said, "Ah, perfect." And I made an assumption. And you know what happens when you make assumptions? I assumed it was just a modern replacement for an old device we used to use back in the day, which was a bale stooker. You'd drag this sled behind your baler, and there'd be an individual on there, and they would stack the bales on it. And what it would do is it would make a stack of bales in a triangle in your field. Oh, about 10 bales, I believe it was, if memory serves, something like that, 8, 10 bales, somewhere around there. What it did is kept most of the bale off the ground because they ended up stacked on edge, and they were in the form of a triangle, so they shed water. And then you'd run around with your bale wagon afterwards, and you'd pick them up. So I thought, oh, this is just going to stack our bales. Well, it did a little bit more than that. It actually wrapped them together, as you can see here. So those are 14 of those little square bales all tied together. Now, I was planning on moving these by hand, but obviously a stack of 14 I can't deal with by hand. Now I could cut them apart, but we actually have 70 of these little square bales here in these stacks. So um, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them like that because that's easy to handle for others, not for us, because we have absolutely no way of dealing with those right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to tap on our old friend TFS and see if we can bring his skid steer up here and move these off to the edge of the field. And we'll see if we can't find someone to buy them and hopefully come pick them up. And we'll have to look at some point of getting our own piece of gear to handle these, because actually handling 5 stacks rather than 70 individual bales is going to be a lot handier actually, especially seeing as we don't have a trailer or anything. Trying to move these all, throw them in the back of the pickup, that'd take some time. So I am going to head down to TFS's and we'll do some finagling. I'll owe him either some more money or some more time. Excuse me, we'll get these moved to the edge of the field because I want to get some slurry on them and get our grass field ready again. So, and you can see I've got our slurry tanker set up here. We actually have almost a full tanker. I think it's at 94% left over from our first use. So anyways, enough jibber jabbering. I'll meet you down at TFS's. Well, there's TFS's corn. It's actually looking pretty darn good. That's what we helped them with planting earlier this year. And we're borrowing his truck and trailer and his little skid steer. He said that's no problem at all. We only need it for an hour or two to move those bales. And he said he needs help with his harvest this fall. So he said we'll just call it square there if I come down and help him with his harvest. So seems like a good deal to me. Now he doesn't have a bale fork, but we should be able to do what we need to get done with these pallet forks, I would think. So we'll get this loaded up. And this is nice that we can use this truck and trailer so we don't have to drive this thing all the way to our place, although it's not very far. It's not very fast. Ooh, I'm going to take a run at this, I guess. Hopefully we can get this thing on here. Pretty sure that is. Full speed. Ramming speed. There we go. All right, I'll get this tied down and I'll meet you back up at our place. See you in just a bit. All right, time to see how this guy handles these stacks of bales. I mean, hey, it shouldn't be that heavy. It should handle it okay, I'm hoping. Oh yeah, no problem at all. Well, seeing as that's the case, I think I'll stack them down along the edge of this road here so that whoever comes to pick them up won't need to drive on our hayfield at all to collect them. There's a fairly good band of our area here that we can store them in. Now TFS is making some inquiries for us in regards to sale of these. He thinks he knows someone who might be interested in these hay bales, so it'd be good if there was a local farmer that could use them. Now it has taken a couple weeks of to get recording time to get this episode together. It's just been real busy in real life here, and also there was some off-camera work that needed to be done at the other farms that didn't help. So I apologize for that. Hopefully the next episode won't take so long to get out. Now, I don't know what we'll get for these bales, but I mean, we bought all the equipment. Some of them we inherited, so that's nice. So we'll throw some slurry on here, and so the next cut in what, about 3 months or so, won't cost us anything but the TFS, or the money we need to send to TFS for slurry. We need to get a little rig like this so we can handle these bales ourselves. And some sort of trailer, like a gooseneck trailer would be nice for our truck. It would be handy not only for handling these bales stacks, but also our products from our farm shop. Yeah, handle these no problem at all. Well, we'll get this loaded back up and back to TFS. We didn't need it for very long at all. Let's see if we can load this up in cab view here. Oh, just nothing to it. Just don't say whoa when you're in a mud hole, as they say. Awesome. Well, I'll get this delivered and we'll get on to the slurry next. And we'll wait to hear back from TFS, see if he's got someone we might be interested in those bales. So catch up with you on the slurry side. All right, it's time to get after this slurry business. We have just about a full tanker left from our first slurry applications. We're putting it on at the same rate as we did the last time. Seemed to work out okay. Anyways, I think this will probably take most of the afternoon by the time I run back and forth to TFS's place. And we have done lots of slurring in the past, so that's what I'll do. And I think I'll catch up with you tomorrow morning and we'll see what tomorrow holds. So I'll carry on with this and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Well, good morning. We did get our slurry down on our field yesterday, and as I suspected, it took most of the rest of the day to get that done. I had to go get 3 additional tanker loads from TFS, so we need to send him $300. So we'll do that here in a little bit. Um, so that'll take us down to 22,666 when I do that. But we have some more product ready to sell. We got that completed yesterday afternoon as well. Ben is still offering us the best deal, so I'm going to take and sell that to him. And so I'll let you know where we stand once we've sold that and we've paid TFS. Uh, I'll let you know where we're at. But TFS also called yesterday afternoon, and our neighbor to the east would like to meet with us. He is a potential candidate for our bales. So once I've got this sold, I'm going to head over there. So that is where I shall meet you, and we'll settle up our accounts at that point. So we'll see you then. Okay, we're just coming up on our gate here on the left, and we're heading our way. We're going to swing east here and head to Neil's place. I got $1,100 for our potato products, and then I sent $300 to TFS. So we gained $800 out of that deal. That takes us up to 23,800, just a hair under. It was requested by one of my viewers that I kind of state what the numbers are, because I had been just letting you read them for yourself, but he watches on his phone and has a little trouble seeing them. So that's why I started providing that information orally. Anyways, we're coming up to Neil's place. Apparently, it's just the first farmyard here on the right after the train tracks. Kind of our closest neighbor to the east, I guess. Oh, big production facility there on the left. This must be the place here. Well, I'll go in and have a chat with him and see what we can work out. I'll bring you back in just a minute. Well, I just finished having coffee with Neil and a good visit. A very nice chap. And unfortunately, though, he does not need our hay right now. He sometimes does need extra hay, but he had a bumper crop off his fields this spring, so he's got quite a bit on hand right now. But he says he does know someone who will likely take it off our hands, but they're away right now, and when they get back, he'll reach out to him and arrange a meeting. So I appreciate that. But in the meantime, he said we could take a look around, and I promised you guys on each of the farms I'd let you know what I added to the base game farm. So let's go and take a little tour. So obviously the house and garage, they're original. This chicken coop though is not. There was a small chicken pen here, but I upgraded it and put this chicken coop in. And there were a couple bins here. They were the large bins that are down on our farm, but I downgraded them because this is a bit more of a modest operation here. But I did add an extra one, so swapped out 2 large bins for 3 smaller ones. There's a couple grain augers so you can get product in and out of the bins. Now this building here is original, and there's a bunch of equipment stored in here, so let's take a look. Pottinger cedar, very nice. A lime spreader or lime fertilizer spreader, a Massey swather, and looks like a roller and a mulcher. equipment all looks fairly new and in pretty good shape. Now I did add this building just across the way, and it's got a bale stacking wagon and header for combine. Now there was a sheep pen here on the original farm, but I swapped it out. This is the sheep pen that allows you to do sheep milk. So Neil's busy milking sheep, I guess. So he's doing that, something a little bit different. This is another original shed here. And in here we've got a couple different trailers, a tanker, and a Massey Ferguson square baler. Anybody starting to sense a theme here? This fuel tanker was original, but everything back here I added. A nice little workshop. You can actually go in this one. And the neat thing about this workshop is it's the only one I've come across on console where you can actually sell vehicles at this workshop as well. So there may be others, but I just haven't come across them. But this one does that. That's kind of neat. Got a few bits and bobs sitting out here. A big weight. Looks like a bale fork hidden back in the trees. Plow. And a shed of red. No surprise there, I don't think. So we've got a little bit older Massey here with a front loader on it. Very nice. All this stuff seems to be in pretty good shape. A new Massey, or fairly new Massey anyway. And looks like there's a sprayer on the back here. Yes, sir. And what looks to be a new kind of mid-size, small to mid-size, I'd say, harvester. I think it probably qualifies as a mid-size. That looks in really nice shape. And a nice grain truck in the appropriate Massey red. Look at that. Well, pretty neat and tidy. If we go in here, we'll jump into construction mode and take a look at what land Neil owns. So he has this barley field here that's just been harvested from the looks of it. A couple grass fields. Oh, yes, and we can see he's got a stack of hay bales there, stack of hay bales inside that little area, and a stack of bales you can just see tucked in there. So he does have a fair number of bales around. He has another field here that has wheat in it, I believe, and canola here for a cash crop. So not a big operation, but nice, neat, and tidy, like I said. Oh, and if we fly over this way, it should be right about here if I timed it right. There we go. He's got area, he's putting a sheep dairy. So he makes sheep's milk, or sheep's cheese here from his sheep's milk. So he has a little production going on. All very, very nice. Like I said, kind of neat and tidy. And he's into this precision farming, as you can see. He's got all those fancy sensors on there. We'll have to ask him how that works one of these days. So, nice, like I said, neat, tidy, modern operation down here. Well, I think that's it. So we'll wait for him, Neil, to reach out to us and see where we can get rid of those bales. But I think we are going to call that an episode here. I don't know if it's going to be a little longer, a little short, because I've got to do that time-lapsing montage in the middle there. But whatever it is, it is. So we'll call it there. So if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you found this entertaining or informative in any ways, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if when you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that notification bell. But until next time, this is Farmer Murphy, signing off.